Au podcast aujourd'hui, on s'entretient avec le joueur d'Erico et capitaine des Capitales Québec, Kyle Crowl, alors que nous discutons de son premier hiver québécois et bien sûr de baseball. Nous vous prévenons, cette entrevue a complètement été réalisée en anglais.
This is Kyle Crowl.
Ici Marc-Antoine Lebreu et vous écoutez le podcast MSQ.
MSQ, votre référence numéro 1 pour le sport à Québec.
Bienvenue tout le monde à ce podcast spécial encore une fois en prévision de la saison 2025 des Capitales de Québec. Encore une fois, Will ici à l'animation aujourd'hui pour la deuxième fois podcast. Invité spécial, le capitaine, le général de l'équipe, Kyle Crowl. Kyle, how's it going?
It's going good, Will. How you doing?
I'm fine. Hopefully the offseason went well for you.
Yeah, first winter in Quebec City, so it was a little cold, but I got through it. It wasn't as bad as people made it out to be, but it was more of a mild winter, is what everybody was saying. But yeah, fun winter here. Really good time. So I enjoyed it here a lot.
Yeah, I think the worst part of this winter was probably end of March, beginning of April, because we had snow, then rain, then it was grassy. Where it's like, all right, yeah, baseball weather, then back to snow. The
Mm-hmm.
classic April here.
Yep,
And
and then the two snowstorms in
yeah,
February that were like 2 days apart and like 10 feet of snow.
yeah, that was
Those
so
were fun.
fun.
Yeah.
I remember like shoveling a lot that weekend, so that was crazy.
I don't know if my back's recovered from that shoveling week.
Other than that, how was like the first year in Quebec, like the first winter and everything here?
Yeah, it's good, man. Like, kind of got to know the city a little bit more. Just, sometimes I don't really get to go out to dinner and much stuff like that because, I'm playing at 7 o'clock every night. So I got to go to a couple new places, like new coffee shops, stuff like that. Just there's so much going on in the city. I could just see a lot more of it, and just the wintertime activities like the German Christmas market,
Yeah.
Bonham Carnival, who my girlfriend is terrified of him because he is kind of scary. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool. Just to experience like a whole bunch of different stuff like that, and I had fun.
And during the off season, you told me like the hand was everything was going well in that part.
Yeah, the hand. I mean, I would say I took about a month and a half off, and it kind of just healed over that time, just giving it a break. I had it so heavily taped every day that I think it might have been hurting it a little more too, but it was the only thing that I could do to continue to play every day. Just talked to a few guys that had that same surgery, and they say the first year was just brutal. Like no matter what you do, it's just not going to be 100% that first year. But the second year back from that surgery is when they said everything felt normal again and everything was all good, and that's exactly what I'm experiencing. Like the whole off season, I didn't hit with tape on, anything like that, and I didn't really have much pain at all.
And how was this off season different from maybe the other ones since we're here in Quebec? Did you I don't know go to the dome and work out there a bit?
Yeah, it was really great. I mean, I'm in a setup where I can go work out 4 or 5 days a week in the dome, and then same thing in the weight room. The Sportitudes very, very, they're nice to me. They did a lot of good things for me, and they helped me out whenever they could. They gave me a big time slot to go in there and work out and go in the dome. And it's credit to Dominic Welsh, GP Wall, and Christian Ard, our pitching coach, who's in the dome a lot. And those guys are super respectful, very nice to me, and allowing me to do that. And they didn't have to at all, but they allowed me to do that. And it was really one of my best off seasons just because of how much I was able to go do. I was able to go do just a big bulk of swinging this year, a lot of fielding, a lot of throwing, and I don't have anything like that in Iowa. We don't have
Yeah.
giant domes over entire baseball fields. We have great facilities, but just cages and stuff like that where it's hard, hard to get ground balls and hard to do long toss, stuff like that. So, like I said, it was just one of those off seasons where I was just really, really lucky to be able to use those facilities, and I took advantage of it.
Yeah, it must be an advantage to be able to like what you said, like work on ground balls and like practice basically every tool you need to be a shortstop and a hitter after that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what happened. It was really nice in that sense, just be able to do all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm very grateful, very thankful for everybody helping me out with that.
And from what we could see online, you weren't the only Cavs player there working out.
Yeah, there was a few other guys. As you see Maison,
Yeah.
he's going to be at our camp.
Yeah, it was just
So
on the Frontier League site I think yesterday, and we because of you, we set up the alert like maybe a couple months ago, like that he was going to be at camp.
Yeah, he was at that Rampart game and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and so like kind of word was gonna get around at some point. So yeah, he's gonna be at camp. Yeah, he's a great guy. He helped me out a lot. It's good to have a hit with him every single day, and there's a few former players around like Matt Sirois. He was around the dome and stuff like that. We had Thibaut Macadier there a
yeah.
little bit. He came over from France, and he was here for a couple of months. Unfortunately, he got sick in the past couple of weeks and had to go back.
Oh,
So hopefully he's healthy and over here pretty soon. But yeah, just a few guys here from the Caps. Frankie Mascatello was here like
yeah.
every now and then. He's down in Charleston, so he threw last night. He did really well. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a good amount of people here to hit with and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, you're the whole off season about the only Caps player though.
And being in Quebec for the first winter, how did the French get used to it now? How is everything going on that side?
It's okay. It's just a slow process, man. Like it's getting better, and like it's almost like I guess I can kind of compare it to like what people from New Brunswick speak in French. Like
Yeah,
I'm not that high of a level, but like sometimes I'm just like speaking, and then I'll just say like a random phrase in French, and it's just like I tell people like on the team, I'm like I know nothing in French. Like I'm not very good in French, and then like all of a sudden I'll like order in Tim Hortons, or I'll just say something to somebody at a grocery store, and they're like, "What do you mean you don't know French? Like, you just said a full sentence." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm in between of like knowing a little bit and not knowing anything,
yeah,
but I mean, I can't have a full conversation with people in French still, but I can kind of understand what they're trying to say or what they want. Like going to the grocery store, it's pretty easy for me now." Especially with like our new guys, like our Japanese guys and our
yeah,
Latin guys that don't speak any English, like they're kind of a little bit lost in the store right now, but doing the best I can to help them out. But I mean, I learned a little bit. It's just got to be a little bit better with going to classes about it or something like that. Just where I have to go sit down and focus on it
mm,
and kind of struggle with it for a couple hours a week. That's kind of where you do your best learning is when you have to struggle and figure it out on your own.
yeah. I remember when I was talking to Frank, I think in January, he was telling me like he was learning like sentences that he was going to use more and often. Like, I think one he gave me was like, "Can I have a box?" or something like that.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
like your go-to that you're really using?
Well, I don't know. I guess I would say like I always say like je parle français. Like, désolé, je parle français, and I tell it to everybody, like, that's the one
Yeah,
that you should learn right away. Like, just immediately just go up, practice it in your head, désolé, je parle français, and then, I just greetings and stuff like that. Like, just salut ça va, and like those interactions are easier now. I would say those two, but I like it's just like random words. Like I say mon Dieu all the time now. Like that's just one of my clothes, mon Dieu. And like I throw in Sissa, like that's it, Sissa. Like that's just in my normal speak every day. Like
yeah.
that's just like like almost like natural for me. It's like I don't know why I do it, but I'm just surrounded so much. That's what ends up happening.
And like being Quebec, like you said, you visited like a bit more of stuff. What was your favorite part like during your winter? Because there's some stuff you do here like during your winter that's not available during the summer, and vice versa after.
Yeah, I would say I don't know. Is the German Christmas market a thing
I
every
don't know
year?
if you're long. I'm not sure.
I I love that. That was really fun. Like I love like all those little pop-up shops. I
Yeah.
went with my girlfriend and it was freezing. And like I didn't wear gloves, which was just not a very smart
Oh
decision.
yeah.
But I really enjoyed that. That was like really
Hey,
fun.
I've been
We
here
did
for
that for
19
a night.
years and I still do the same mistake, so don't worry.
But yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. That was probably my favorite thing that we did together over the winter. And then did my first cabin à sucre.
All right.
That's a classic one that I had to get to, so I went with her and her family. That was fun. That was just fun, just like whatever, watching everybody dance and sing the songs. And I was like, it was like one of those culture shock moments.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell am I right now? But I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, you're talking
So
about like when you talk about the gloves, I think we've all been there. Like the best memory for me about that was like 2022 during the Laval finals against Montreal here in Quebec. It
mm,
was freezing. I didn't bring gloves, and they gave us like cardboard things to hit on our hands.
hmm
And I did a mistake of flapping my hands. For the rest of the game, my hands were like red, and I couldn't use them at all. Like,
That's
biggest mistake you could ever make.
Yeah,
Looking to this season, I think you helped a lot during the offseason to recruit players as well.
yeah, like whenever like I knew somebody, I would do my best to reach out to them. Whenever Scal asked me to reach out to somebody that I knew or something like that, because I'm just, I'm more connected in like the baseball world is in terms of I played with a bunch of different guys at this point, and whoever if they know somebody somehow, it's just like it's almost like a small world. Like whenever you play 3 or 4 years of pro ball, you have so many different teammates and stuff like that. You mean you can just reach out to him and be like, hey, did you played with this guy, and what's he like? He's a good guy. Like, would he be interested in Quebec and stuff like that? And I can just give Pat whatever his base is on, who he knows and whatnot, or who I know, and kind of what their personality is like, and if they're going to be a good fit here. Because that's the most important thing about Quebec is just after seeing it for the past 3 years is if people are going to fit here and if people are going to buy into the culture we have here, and if they are, we're going to get them, even if they're less talented than somebody else. Like, like I said, we're looking at our lineup last year, and we had like one guy hit above 300, but everybody's on base like at 400.
Yeah.
And you're looking at our batting average, like, how's this team winning? But it's just, we just had a really good process, and we bought into what we do best and get on base. Stole a lot of bases last year and scored a bunch of runs. And yeah, I just whatever like Pat needs, he asked me to do something, asked me to call somebody, try to persuade them to come to Quebec. I'll do whatever, doing whatever he was asking and whatnot.
And we were talking with Pierre Blais and Marc-André Lard a bit earlier this week because présentement on enregistre ça le 26 avril. We talked about like the defense aspect of the game and how important how it's important to have a good middle infield. And over the past few years, we were able to have that with you and Val and Claude. Seeing that in the past 2 years, you've been one of the best teams like in terms of double plays in the league. So how is it important for you guys to be able to turn multiple double plays per game and get outs? Because we were talking about it, like I think like when you remove like 160 double plays, like it's a lot of batters that are coming off the bases and helping.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's the pitchers. I mean, they got to get the ground balls first. So they do a good job understanding the situations and trying to get what they want from the situation. And yeah, man, like it's just something the middle infielders got to work on. They have to have chemistry. I've had a lot of really good chemistry with our middle infielders over the past 2 years, and it helps out when you got a big leaguer and Yasmel Valentin, where I can throw the ball anywhere and he's going to turn a double play. He makes me look good no matter what kind of throw I gave him. And the same thing with Glode. Like Glode had a really good arm, and same thing. I throw the ball anywhere, he was able to transfer it and turn a double play. We had Pompito too. That was in there for the first couple of months. Same thing, just really good infielder, really good hands. Turned double plays a lot with me. Yeah, I just think that comes down to like Scouts recruiting. He recruits good defensive guys. That's super important for him. And pitching and defense that always wins you championships. And when your pitchers are getting outs, you gotta capitalize. You gotta turn on those double plays and do what you need to do. And this year, I think we have a couple good middle infielders coming in. So I think it's going to be the same thing. We're going to try to get outs when we can, and you gotta minimize the game as much as possible. They got 27 outs. You don't want to give them any extra outs. So, and when you get those double plays, you got to capitalize, especially on the routine ones. And we've done so in the past couple of years, and it's just having good partners up the middle, being able to communicate and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, have you been able to talk to some of the guys that are coming here, like for the next season, like for the new guys playing middle infield, especially like I think Will Riley is going to be battling for a second base spot, even though he was signed as a utility man, I think.
Yeah, Will Riley's going to be good for us. Yeah, he's a good dude. Kind of talked to him the past couple of days, and I took some ground balls with him. We turned some double plays too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. He's got good hands. Good middle infielder, and I think Irizarry from Puerto Rico, he's going to be fighting for that spot too at second base. He's another guy that was just really good defensively over in Lake Erie and a good bat there. So, like I said, we have some good options there. We got Josh Van Wright. I don't really know where Pat sees him fitting in either at third base or second base. But
funny enough, like less than 10 minutes ago, the Caps just announced the camp roster.
Yeah. Oh, did they? Okay.
I just saw it like pop up and like you have
now there's no more secrets.
yeah, no anymore. like Christian Inoa, Gerald Belbin. Like I think he's more like on the first base side if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like you got a lot of options this year, and camp's going to be really interesting for that. Like something we've talked about is like camp's going to be interesting because there's going to be a lot of battles, and it's going to be like maybe in the infield, the outfield, or it's going to be even in the pitching staff because there's a lot of pitching that needs to be decided to go for the season and who's going to be starters. Because as of right now, the only returning starting pitcher from last year is Harley.
Yeah, yeah. Got kind of a lot of questions in terms of returners, but I think we have a ton of talent, man. You go through that roster right there, and go through Baseball Reference. You're gonna see a lot of guys with good resumes, and even if some people have like inflated numbers, they did a good job getting outs at some point last year. It's ERA is a little bit of an outdated stat to me, like anything can
Yeah,
happen. That's why like I've never been a big fan of ERA. I'm more of a fan of like fielding independent pitching FIP. That's what I use in evaluating guys. Use that instead. Like we're big on looking at walks. We don't want guys that walk people.
Mhm.
That's another thing. That's why we turn a lot of double plays. Is we get a lot of people putting balls in play against us. We don't want to walk people. Um, so yeah, I think there's a ton of guys on there that were maybe in a bad situation last year that we're going to get over to a really good situation here in Quebec, and they're going to have great years. One of those guys like Bradwell last year, who he had
yeah,
whatever high ERA and TR, and he was the pitcher of the year last year. He
yeah.
was
I
just
think it
completely dominant.
was like 12-0 to end the season. I think.
Yeah, just crazy. 12-0. Like we always gave him run support, and he always just he always didn't give up any runs either. So that obviously helps. So yeah, it's just one of those just magical years for him, man, where he just put it together and he was just phenomenal.
Yeah, and like from the whole team, I think that one of the things that just came out to everybody, like just watching the rosters and everything, like just come out with the signatures and everything, is this team is like from everywhere around the world. We got Australians, we got Puerto Ricans, we got some guys from Venezuela now. How is it going to be different maybe this year to having like multiple like Latino guys and then you got the Japanese guys as well? How is that going to be in the clubhouse?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's pretty cool, honestly. Like you have so many different cultures, and like just in the first couple of days, just having conversations with a few people, just about like what's different about this place, and like different from like what their pro ball leagues are like at back home.
Yeah,
It's just been cool just to have those conversations, especially with the Australians and the ABL over there. That's winter ball.
yeah,
Something like I kind of want to go play in, and now that we have three or four guys from there, it's if that door that comes open for me, that'd be really cool. But like some of the other guys, like Japanese guys, it's cool to we can only Google Translate with them. Unfortunately, I wish I could speak Japanese and kind of get to know them a little more. It's kind of tough, but yeah, we're taking care of them, making sure they're included in everything, and yeah, they've been fun. They've been cool to watch and see their routines. And same with the Latin guys. But we always have a good amount of Latin guys every year. They're always great. They're always funny in the clubhouse and always a good vibe. So yeah, it's really interesting seeing all the different countries we have, and it's going to be one of probably the most international team we've ever had in Caps history. So
yeah,
it'll
really.
be pretty cool.
Yeah, because I feel like when you look back at the Can-Am days, like most of the time we were like really basing the team off of like Canadians and guys from Quebec. This
Hmm.
year, from what I could see, I think we got only like five in the
Yeah.
whole like camp roster, which is fine because like as much as we want guys from Quebec, we also want guys that can play ball. Like that's the most important part, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of really good baseball talent in Quebec, and there's a lot of guys playing college baseball right now, and there's a
Yeah,
lot of
so
guys in affiliate ball too. That's the thing is, sometimes it just doesn't match up in terms of where people are at in their careers. So like I said, there's a few college guys that hopefully we can get come here after they're done, or well,
right.
actually the goal for them, hopefully they go play in the big leagues
Yeah,
first. Kind of like Eddie Julian and guys like that, and there's a few other guys from Quebec and affiliate ball. But yeah, whenever they're done playing in affiliate ball, they get released. That stuff happens. Hopefully they get to come over here and play in Quebec City.
and how has it been like this year? Like, did I think like you're rooming with Q and Mark, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Q and Mark, and then we picked up Braden Alamon from
Right.
Olivier. He's going to be on that list you saw today. Yeah, we just picked him up last night. Good dude. I think he could be one of those guys that we that we picked up, like Bradwell last year, where TR was stupid to release him and
Yeah.
get him to have a really good year for us over here. Hopefully that works out for us. But yeah, he's a good dude. Just talking to him last night, it was fun.
And how has like it been like seeing that everybody's coming back here, and how has the feeling been like to see the teams getting back in camps and baseball starting tomorrow, and how has everything been feeling on that part? Like a bit excited, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. Like every single season, you're building up that whole off season, and I'd say like it gets around February, end of February, all the affiliate guys start leaving for camp, and you're like, okay, I got 2 more months of this. Okay, I got to train for 2 more months. All right, sounds good, cool. And then you get to the end of March, you're like, okay, is it camp yet? And then these coming weeks, it just piles up on you quickly. It's all of a sudden everybody's showing up, and everybody's excited to see the city. Everybody's got a million questions, about Quebec. Where's Chipotle? Where's McDonald's? Where's all the fast food places? Sorry guys, we don't have Chipotle,
Yeah.
but we got more healthy stuff. We got Poulet Rouge.
Yeah, true.
Poulet
True.
Rouge. Yeah, it's just super exciting to see all the guys here and get them all here and get to know everybody. It's gonna be an exciting year. It's gonna be cool to show these guys the city, and I think there's gonna be a lot of guys that just fall in love with this place this year. They've already seen the stadium and seen the setup, and they love it, and they're just really excited. They've heard a lot of things about how good our attendance is, how crazy the fans are, how awesome they are, and they're just ready to get started May 20th at home. But we got to go on the road first.
Yeah. And how has that been like just trying like I think the last year I think it was Q that was talking to us about like how the whole Quebec experience was like getting like more and more pushed on him, and like he was getting excited towards the start of the season. And how have you guys started like maybe telling the guys like get ready for May 20th because it's gonna be loud, it's gonna be crazy, and you're gonna like feel what's it like to play in Quebec.
Yeah, it's just like kind of what we did last year. Like with we had Joe Lacroix and Mark, in our house, and then we had Q, and then you see Mark. Whenever I see Mark, and whenever I see anybody from last year, just all those stories pop up from the last couple of years, and it's just like, hey, you remember when this happened, or hey, you remember when that happened, and you just kind of get to talking, and people start listening to you, and they're like, oh, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on here, and stuff like that, and you can do your best to describe it. And even Q said this last year. He goes, "Man, I thought you guys were overselling this place to me. Like, I cannot believe you undersold it just from what happened on opening day last year." He goes, "Dude, I had like chills. I was about to pass out on the foul line. I didn't realize how crazy it was here on opening day and stuff like that." And yeah, I'm just excited to kind of tell everybody about it. And they're like, okay, whatever. It can't be that crazy. And then like opening day comes around, and everybody's screaming at the top of their lungs. You can feel the stadium vibrating during the opening introductions, and next thing you know, it's just a crazy day.
And you can hear Felix yelling from beside the press box.
Of course. Got to hear Felix every single time. I swear that's like the only voice I ever hear. It's just Felix, and it's great. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I remember, like, I think it was the All Star game. I wasn't sitting with him like for the first innings, and I just started hearing him like yell when I think it was Frank was coming to pitch, and I heard him starting to chant. I was like, all right, yeah, there he is.
Yep, well, you can find him. You go in the stadium and just listen for a few innings and whatnot. You'll know where he is.
Yeah, and how are you excited to come back now to the dome and seeing how they're getting renovations? Like the lights, yeah, are gonna get updated. I think the sound system is also getting a bit renovated, and the new scoreboard, which I'm excited to see now as well. How is that exciting maybe for you? And then like, especially with the lights, maybe it's gonna be like a more advantage for you guys.
Yeah, it's different because every year I've come up like on the weekend before camp, and like everything's kind of set up and stuff like that. Stadium's always like kind of they're cleaning up and doing the finishing touches, and like being here the whole winter and seeing from start to finish, you're like, holy crap! Like these people are working really really hard. Like they're doing so much, and like the stadium's in bad shape, and you're like, how are they going to have this ready? And they just do an
Yeah, it's crazy.
unbelievable
Yeah,
job. Yeah, they do a great job. It's unbelievable every year. They always have it ready. It's just like, well, hold on, where are the lights? They don't have the lights, and then everything. You're gonna come back from that road trip, and you're like, did Extreme Home Makeover come out for a couple of days, and did they fix it? It's insane, but it's so cool just to see that transformation happen and see all the hard work from everybody in the front office and see all the coordination from the front office. I mean, it's a group of people down there that work extremely hard, especially now. I mean, they're working around the clock. They're working from like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every night, making sure everything's perfect for opening day. And it always is like they always have everything perfect, and it's everything you could ever want as a player, which is insane. But yeah, the stadium upgrades are really, really cool. The speakers, I think the fans are really going to love that and enjoy that this year. New video board's going to be it's going to be crisp and
Yeah, I'm
clean.
excited to see that.
I'm really excited for that as well. The lights will be awesome. There's rumors going around about flickering lights. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny these.
All right.
I don't know though. I don't know if they got that deal to work out, but there's rumors about it. But the LED lights are easier to turn on and off, so there won't be a 25-minute light delay anymore
Yeah,
at the stadium. So
especially having any more electricity during the semifinals, and you have like a delay against Ottawa.
exactly. Maybe it was planned. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't think it was planned because of like the whole police car thing we saw like a couple blocks later.
Yeah.
I think there was like a fire or something there.
Yeah, there was a fire. Something I don't remember. Time flies, but anyways, like it's just cool to see like all the renovations and all the investments they're making back into stuff that the players see, like stuff they don't even need to do, but they're doing it anyways. They're capitalizing and they're trying to make the show as best as possible for the fans, and they're trying to make the experience as best as possible for the players, and that's something that I've always appreciated, and I know like a lot of guys in their team have always appreciated, the investment they make in us and taking care of us and taking care of the fans.
And have you been able to talk to like guys that are coming to only this year, new guys that are just gonna learn a bit the city and everything, like any more? Do you have like maybe I'm looking for the word, but any tips for them?
Oh
Like
yeah.
here,
Big time. Yeah,
I was blanking hard there.
oh, I knew what you were saying though. I was gonna cut in at some point, but I honestly might next year just put together just like a class. Hey everybody, let's sit down. Let's do Kyle's 30-minute how to
With a big
survive
PowerPoint
in
there.
Quebec. Yeah, exactly. It's hey, here's what we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn 5 French phrases, and you're going to practice those in the mirror one day, and you'll understand everything, and you'll be able to get by the whole summer, and
They
you'll be
each
able to
have a
speak
list
immediately.
with all the 5 phrases, and you need to learn all of those for opening day.
Yep, all these for opening day. Say this to the fans. Just give French a chance, and they will absolutely love it. And that's exactly what it is about the people in the cities. If you just go show that you're trying, and that's the thing. I try, but it gets to a point where I don't understand what they're saying, and I just do the je parle pas français, désolé, whatever. Like I try at the beginning. I always try just to understand and try to speak back, and then sometimes it doesn't work out. But yeah, like especially the food places, I remember that being something that I struggled in my first year is just like if you're kind of running out of time or you're busy, especially during camp, like we have a lot of activities and we have like, medical assessments, all that different kind of stuff. I need to go grab like something to eat really quickly that's like somewhat healthy. And as an American, it's just like, okay, I can go to like Chipotle, that's something that's decent calories for athletes, and it's just like, okay, well, I don't really want to go Subway. Obviously, you should not go to McDonald's. And I'm like, what do I do? So it's just like I've been like giving people like lists of like, hey, here's like healthy options, like healthier options, because eating out's usually never healthy. Sandwich places and stuff like that, like Poulet Rouge. Like where do we get the best poutine? I guess Stadium has great poutine. It's not available yet, but go to Benny and Co. That's like a basic one. But if you ever see a sign that says casse-croûte, you go immediately, because that's like there's no best poutine in Quebec City. It's just all the small shops that do it correctly. The crispy fries, the squeaky cheese curds, and the first mistake I remember I made in 2022 is I went to. I'm not going to slander their name. I went to a place or whatever, and as an American, everything has to have meat on it, of course, because I don't know why. So it's like, oh, I'm trying to get some protein. So I got some Philly cheesesteak poutine.
Oof.
It was horrible. And I said, all right, what's wrong with these people? How do they like poutine? And then I got to know Mark and Joe that year, and they're like, all right, we're going to take you to a real poutine place. And, they took me to like a casse-croûte on the way home. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. Yeah, this totally makes sense why people love this so much. And then I became addicted to it.
And I don't remember who it was. Like I think a couple of years ago, I think it was maybe Elliot Carney. I'm not sure at all, but like I don't know. Remember who? I think it was Pierre that told that on the broadcast. He went to the restaurant under like the tab like for the fans and everything. He
Mm-hmm.
grabbed food and I think he brought it to the bullpen.
Jeez.
I think
Well,
that's from what I remember. I'm not sure all about the story, but that's like I think the memory I have about it.
that is I I never heard about that, but I'm sure he was they were not happy with somebody that would do that during the game and taking it
I
to the
really
bullpen.
not sure. I think it was before the game though.
Yeah, we used to have guys do that. We don't do that anymore. Poutine's not looked upon as a good pregame snack. Sometimes if you're in a pinch, like whatever, you got to do it. But I mean, maybe once a year. But usually, if you do that, you're not feeling too great.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I was just speaking from experience. You're not feeling too great playing shortstop, and you're not moving very well. So I stay away from the pregame poutine. Maybe like a bite or two if somebody doesn't want to finish theirs, but we'll stay away from the full one.
Pregame. What is your pregame meal looking like? Oh, it's like I remember like seeing some NHL guys are like, yeah, I'm always eating chicken or spaghetti or something like that. What's like your pregame meal?
And man, those guys like they got personal chefs. They got whatever. Like they just
Yeah.
tell somebody like, hey, have like 8 ounces of chicken and rice on my whatever table at
Yeah.
6:35 p.m. and I'm gonna eat it. But man, it's not like that for us. It's a little bit more of a grind. I don't really have like a routine pregame meal, but at home the Caps provide us pregame meals, and it's usually like a pasta and chicken and stuff like that. It's good. It's good food, and again, it's another thing that they don't have to do. They don't have to provide us a pregame meal, but they provide us pretty healthy pregame stuff. And Joe Lammy and his girlfriend, they do the shopping for us for our spread and stuff, and they do a great job. And they make sure to get us stuff that's healthy enough, and it's gonna fill us up before games and stuff like that. They're buying us fruit where you go on the road and I see a lot of teams they just have peanut butter and jelly. And we obviously have peanut butter and
Yeah.
jelly too, which is the staple in any ball. But like I said, there's another thing that the Caps do just to take care of the players. They don't have to invest in that, but they do, and they take care of our performance and stuff like that. Because if you're eating crap before the game,
Yeah.
you're gonna feel like crap during the game.
And not slander like the old Oakland A's like days. And I remember like seeing pictures of the minor leaguers what they were eating, and it was like horrible. Like they had like wraps with I think was like one pepper, two slices of chicken, and just slapped sauce on it. Like that looked disgusting.
Yeah, man. Like you get some of that on the road at some places. I'm not gonna talk about it. You get that, and it's unfortunate. And I'm sure even still in the minor leagues, they still have
Yeah.
that happens. Where it's a crap spread, and you're kind of it stinks for some guys because you're in a pinch at like 10:30 p.m. at night, and you're like, well, you know, what do I do? I got to Uber Eats something. And it's just like, well, I didn't make that much money playing today, so like, what do they do? Especially minor leagues and especially in independent baseball. So there's a lot of times like that, but never at home. Like they do a good job feeding us and taking care of us.
And like, do you have any more like superstitions when you're playing or something like that? Like a pregame routine, maybe?
Yeah, it's like hard to describe. There's just like things that I just do and I
Yeah.
continue to do that I don't even think about anymore. Last year I just put in headphones for like 15 minutes and like I'd have my taping routine. Like I'd go get my tape and make sure to do everything in the same exact order, whatever it would be that
Mhm.
year. And like the routines change year by year just based off what you need and stuff like that. And just my stretching routines like always like a little weird because baseball players are always doing weird stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I just remember my girlfriend's always making fun of like what I'm doing before the game and stuff like that. She comes home, she's, "What are you doing? Why do you do that?" And I'm like, I don't even know. Like maybe that stretches my hamstring. Maybe that gets my back loose. I don't know. But like superstitions, like my routine at the plate's been the same for God knows how long. Like six,
Always
seven,
talking to the
yeah, always talking to the ump. Like you always gotta get them on your side. They're good guys. The umpire thing's always like always an interesting dynamic. I just always want to have a conversation with them because they're doing the same thing as us. They're trying to make it up in minor leagues and stuff like that. And if you can't have a conversation with them, like I don't know, like they're just like us. So it's like why not be friendly to them until they start screwing you over, and then if they're screwing you over and being mean about it, it's like what are we doing?
and then
Just
Pat
talk to
comes
me.
out and then he gets tossed.
Exactly. Well, a lot of the umpires last year, I thought they did a great job. The umpires were really good last year. They were really personable. You could talk to them, and they're gonna miss stuff. Like it's gonna happen. But, if they're just willing to say, like, yeah, I might have missed that one, it's like, okay, cool. Like, no problem at all, whatever. But that's a different topic. But, Frontier League did a good job bringing in, like, a bunch of different crews last year. And all the crew chiefs were very professional, and they were great people last year.
And I think I talked about it a bit with Mark, and he told me like that you were more someone who likes natural fields. Is that still the same thing, or you're like a bit more like into turf now?
There's some natural fields that I like. Like, honestly,
Yeah,
like, I was
suspect. He told
upset.
me, yeah.
I was so upset when they said they were getting turf. I was like, no. I was like sitting in my living room, and like, you'd have thought my dog died. I was like, I just like saw the report, and I was like, no, Sussex did not. They're going to turf. And yeah, my girlfriend's room, I just go, no. My girlfriend's like, what happened? I go, Sussex just turfed their field. She's like, I don't know what that means. I was like, whatever. I like turf, honestly. Like, there's some places that don't have very nice playing surfaces.
That's true.
I will not say them by name.
We could see it, like honestly, like on the streams last year, we could see how bad they were, and I'm not gonna say names as well, but like
Yeah.
when you see the light reflecting on it, and you're just like, why is there snow in the field? Like that turf is horrible because you see like the whole light just blaring back on the stream after you like, all right, that turf is bad, and then you see the bad bounces as well.
Yeah, most turf, like, the ones that are reflective, they're just faster. I wouldn't say it's like technically, I wouldn't say necessarily it's bad turf. Like, there's some places where you get like a few bad hops and you're like, what the heck's going on? They need to replace this. But most turf fields are fine. Like, Jersey's good. Like, Jersey's got good turf. We have good turf, obviously.
Yeah.
Most places have really good turf. I don't love Florence's turf. It's a little fast. So it's just
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's kind of got to get used to it. It's kind of like a preference thing. But, we don't go back there this year. But,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
just gonna check.
Yeah, we don't go there because for some reason they just beat the hell out of us whenever we go play them at third place. But yeah, Schaumburg has a really nice natural surface, and then Sussex had a great surface over the past couple of years. But I mean, the turf will be fine there too. Turf's really hard to screw up, and not a lot of teams do it. So I do like the turf. The only thing I don't like doing molded cleats on turf. Sometimes I just slip. I just don't like the feel of it. I like the metal cleats on that natural field. That feels like baseball to me. I wish everybody had just like a perfect natural field, but that's not the way it works.
Yeah, especially. Well, I think the turf has its advantages, like for the rain and stuff.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you don't need to
exactly.
cancel games every like 2 days, especially like we saw a bit last year. Like there were a couple of days where it was raining a lot here, and at least with the rain, mostly like the field isn't that bad after.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of got to get used to it here, especially. I mean, it's sliding early. That's kind of one
Uh-huh.
of our home advantages too. Is not a lot of teams know how to slide early, and that's why we back pick everything. We have catchers throw down no matter if the guy's on second base already, because it forces them to slide, and they slide past the bag, and we get some free outs that way. So it's just kind of one of our advantages. But yeah, we have good turf, and they take advantage of it. The good thing about it is a lot of indie ball teams are going to it, and I understand why. It's because they can use it 365 days a year,
Uh-huh.
and they can rent it out to whoever wants to. They can have concerts without ruining the field and stuff like that. So I mean, it's smart. It's smart to go to turf in that sense, especially when you're trying to maximize how much money you can make in an independent organization. So, the Caps obviously take advantage, and that thing's used 365 days a year, unless the dome construction is getting used. So,
What is the thing you're most excited for like this season? Like maybe let's start with like camp. What's the most exciting thing like for camp? Because like of course you have like the baseball thing. You have the chance to go back and play, but there are also like the team building activities. What's the most exciting thing for you?
yeah, like me and Mark were talking about this the other day, and I'm sure he gave you the same answer. It's the baseball's exciting. It's going to be good to get out there and see what everybody can do, see what I can do this year. I just get excited for the camp activities. Like
Yeah.
Pat does a really good job of planning them, and it's just really cool to get to know everybody doing that. Like the karaoke is it's just so electric, You just to see everybody out there just nervous as hell to get up there on the stage, and they get up there. Sometimes they're just horrible. Sometimes people are so good, and they plan the choreography, the dancing, and stuff like that, and how to do everything. And I could really appreciate people that go hard on the karaoke. I just joke around with everybody and say like, "Hey, karaoke, big night on Sunday. just make sure to do a good performance because that could be the difference of you making the team or not.
You just have cat taking notes.
Yeah, I just say that, and kind of just give everybody like I want them to go put on a good show, and everybody wants to see that too. And last year everybody did do a really good job, like putting on a show. Like Jake McKenzie, Ryan Sandberg, they sung like Justin Bieber and was it Sean Paul? No, Justin Bieber and Sean Kingston. It was
Yeah,
Eeny Meeny. Yeah.
I think
It was hilarious. It did so well, and then Q and Pampito, Francisco Hernandez last year
yeah.
did the Sacradero. It was hilarious, and then Giddy too. I'm gonna leave out a lot of people, but there's a lot of really good performances last year, and kind of hoping to get the same show this year.
Yeah, and I think what Mark was telling me, like, I think you've won it like for the past 2 years. He told me.
Yeah, last year we did. The year before, I don't think we did because we did the same song 2 years in a row, which was stupid of us, but we were stupid. And I think they said like, "Oh, no repeats, you can't win this year." And I don't even remember who had the best performance in 23. But man, last year there were so many good ones, and like we technically won, but there's a lot of really, really good ones, like 9 out of 10s and stuff like that from the judges being the front office and Pat.
So going for the back-to-back this year.
Going for the back-to-back this year, a lot of pressure, and we want the competition to be good too. So that's why we're telling people, like, hey, get your karaoke song ready. You better make sure you practice because we're sitting in our living room and we're going to be practicing tonight. We're going to be getting it going. We're going to be getting ready for it. So it's gonna be a big night of practice. We got to do our baseball stuff really quickly. Then the most important thing, karaoke, comes.
It's funny because like you're gonna have the players there like think it's like not serious or anything, and you guys are just practicing choreography and stuff for like 2 days straight after.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I don't know. You want people to laugh, and you want people to have fun, and if they see the people that are coming back doing the same things, just having fun practicing, they're like, okay, we should do it too, and it just makes everything better because there's nothing worse than seeing somebody that like didn't practice, has no idea what they're doing, and they get up there and they can't sing along with the song, and you just feel so awkward. You're like, oh my God, please, I want to go up there and help him, like. Stuff like that, and we always have a few guys like that. But yeah, karaoke's fun. It's funny just to go to. I will not name the random karaoke bar, so we don't have everybody show up to it. But it's always funny to see the random people like, who the hell are these people, and why are they in this karaoke bar at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night? What's happening?
And if I'm not mistaken, like Mark told me that last year it was Tommy that sang the national anthem, like as
Yeah.
the opening ceremony. I think he told me.
Yeah, he just whipped out 2 Canadian flags and just absolutely belted the national anthem in French. It was so funny. It was so
So
good too.
have you given like maybe that tip to players like if you don't have anything to sing the national anthem, it might help.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, oh, man, maybe I should tell somebody to do that. But there's not a whole lot of people that came back last year
Yeah,
that know the anthem in French. That's the thing. Like, if anybody was gonna do it, it would probably be me. That'd be like the funniest one. Like Mark could go up there and Q could go up there and do it, but it doesn't count. They speak French, so
yeah.
you have to not speak French and do it. But I mean, the only person that could do it, I don't even think Harley can sing it in French. Maybe Giddy can,
Maybe yeah.
but Giddy, I told
It's
you
gonna go
earlier.
heavy metal again.
Giddy's either gonna go heavy metal or like super super soft, super light, like Unwritten,
Oh my God, that would be
Pink
legendary.
Pony Club. I don't know what he's gonna do, man. Like that's it's been eating me alive the past couple of days, and he won't say anything. He goes, no, it's a surprise. Like it's gonna be a surprise. So yeah, I'm like I said, super excited for that night.
And honestly, one of the things that we've all seen like the ice bucket challenge coming back, and
Hmm.
everything I've seen now is just waiting like, can someone nominate Justin Gideon so we can redo the whole scene again? It would be the best thing I think we could ever see again. Like just if someone's never seen that video, it needs to be shown again. I took it out yesterday and I just oh yeah, he needs to do it again.
The Justin Gideon Ice Bucket Challenge. You know what? I'll bring it up to him. I'll see what he does. I would
Honestly,
love
I
to be
think
a part of an Ice Bucket Challenge.
if someone nominates me, I might be the one to nominate Gideon.
You
Not
know
even
what? That
joking.
is that is a great idea. You're gonna have to make a little conspiracy, and you're gonna have to make somebody nominate you.
And looking at like what's coming for this season, you've honestly been telling us like you've been 100% now in your hand. And what are your expectations like coming in like to this season now?
Yeah, that's like something that's always like changed for me over the past like couple years is like, coming in here my first year, it's like, okay, I want to hit 300 with, this amount of home runs and this amount of doubles. And
Hmm.
that's just like not the pressure you want to put on yourself and stuff like that. You just kind of want to go day by day and just make sure you're doing the right things. And you're just worried about your prep more than you're worried about, I want to hit 20 home runs, which everybody wants to hit 20 home runs and everybody wants to hit 350 with, 20 home runs and stuff like that. But obviously, have high expectations for me offensively. Always want to be one of the better hitters on the team, especially with the experience I have and
Uh-huh.
kind of what people expect out of me. But just kind of just sticking with the process of, what I'm trying to do every day. How can I get better? How can my swing get better? How can my approach get better? How can my visualization of what the pitchers are going to do? How can that get better every single day? And if that prep's good, it's gonna show up on the field. I have enough talent to go out and do it, and did a lot in the off season to be able to go out there and have a really really good season. And now it's just going out there and competing and making sure that plan's really good. And that's something that I'm gonna work on during camp. That's what a lot of people do is I'm not worried about what happens during camp. Like I had one of the worst camps in the world last year, but I was just experimenting with a lot of different things. I wasn't healthy. And so like you start to learn just from camp, like how to go about your business during the season. And then once the season starts, it's like, okay, let's turn it on, let's go and see what we can do. And so like, I'm just try to get hot early and try to stay hot as long as possible and limit those cold times because that's what I haven't done in the past couple of years is, once I get into a slump, I kind of stay there for quite a bit of time
Huh.
and then I kind of crawl my way out of it and somehow get back into like the 270s, 300 range and stuff like that. But as long as I have good at bats, I'm just gonna be happy. Just every day, you always want to have put together, two to three or four quality plate appearances where you're getting walked, you're doing something productive for the team, and that's just what it is. It's just such a daily thing because if you're staring at your stats and you're hitting 240 and you go 4 for 4 and you're hitting like 260, you're like, okay, I got to go 4 for 4 again, and I'll be hitting 280 and stuff like that. It's just a grind mentally, and I've done that before. I did it in college, and you just can't do that to yourself and stuff like that. But so it's just like winning the game every single day. Being good in the field every single day, and putting together good plate appearances and helping out the other guys, like especially with like scouting stuff and telling them what I'm seeing and helping them out, and maybe it helps their approach out a little bit too.
I was looking at the schedule because I was working on the graphics start of the season, and what I could see in the second week, you guys are playing like early games, and from what I'm saying, I think it's like school games for like schools. Like I think Eastern time you have two games at 11:05 against Joliet,
Hmm.
and against Windy City you have a double header on the 16, and you're playing at 10:35. How does that feel?
Yeah, that's a rough start to the year schedule wise.
Second week,
That'll
fourth
yeah.
and fifth game of the year at 11 a.m. That's rough.
Yeah, those are never fun games. It's cool for the kids though, for
Yeah.
sure. Like it's awesome for the schools to come out there during the day, and when you go to the States early in the year, you always expect that because at school still in session and it's about to be done. And yeah, never really a big fan. It's really hard to get going at 10:35 and 11:05, but those stats mean the same thing, and those wins mean the same thing as the
Yeah.
7 o'clock games that are sold out in Quebec in August. So it's just like one of those things where it's like, both teams got to wake up, both teams got to do it. Nobody likes it, but it's just that ability to go out there and be like, okay, whatever, who cares? I got to go out there and I got to have good at bats today, and it's a team that honestly just wants to be there more that wins those games. And like I said, like those are important ones, especially to start the year with how we've been over the past couple of years where we just struggle to start. If we go on that road trip and we're above 500, a couple of games above 500, we're going to be happy, especially like what we did in 2022. We just won it. We
Yeah.
won every series on the road, and we were super happy. And then we came back and rolled from there.
And like that double header on the 16th, like 10:35. Then you have another game at 6:35. That's gonna be rough.
Yeah, me and Pat have been talking about that one, and we still have no idea what the best option is on what to do in
Yeah.
between games. It's like, what do we do? Do we go back to the hotel? Well, we might leave after the game, so we don't have the hotel. Okay. Or do we just go to a mall? Like, what do and I'm like, honestly, I don't know. Ask ChatGPT. Let it
Yeah,
figure it
because
out
usually
for you.
like double headers, like there's not that big of a delay. That's like maybe like 3 hour delay between games. Like
Yeah, man. I
kind
think
of
they
big
have like I think they rented out the field or something like that. You know, whatever they got to do. They got to make their money,
yeah.
especially to make their operation good. But like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know what the heck we're gonna do because it's like a 3 hour time frame where it's like, are we gonna sit in the locker room and just be destroyed for the next game? You got to go get food, stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see. That'll be interesting. I'll keep you updated on that one, and we'll see how that one. We might just vlog that day and say like,
Really on
you
YouTube,
know,
yeah.
come with me and play
On
two
Canadian's
games.
YouTube, yeah.
So
Well, I'm a jersey freak. I think everybody knows that right now. And last year we got a couple new jerseys. How did that? Which one was your favorite? Like of the new ones? Like, of course, you have the new third jersey. I know you matched that with your like, the yellow socks and everything.
mhm.
But like, I think we had like the new retro like tie dye jersey that was kind of cool. Which one was your favorite?
Yeah, I have to think back to that. The tie-dye one was cool. I think the one that I liked the best was the like the homage to the Quebec
Yeah,
players.
Mark said the
That
exact same thing.
those were sweet, man.
Yeah.
Those were really cool. I really enjoyed those. Like those are great uniforms, and they fit perfectly with what we had. There was another one. God, I can't remember like what it was, but I wore like my I love the Saint Jean Baptiste Day uniforms. Did
Yeah,
we
the
wear
blue
those
one.
last year?
I don't think so. No.
I don't
Because you
think
won
we
the
were here on
road.
Saint Jean
No, you
Baptiste.
won the road last year. Last year during Saint Jean. I think 2 years ago. I know you were in like
Okay.
the light blues. I think you're talking about.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
those ones. Those are like my favorite. Well, it obviously matches my glove too. So anytime I can get matchy with the glove, it's always a good day. So
Um.
those I like those a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I talked a bit about it with Mark, like custom equipment. I know you have got something going up this year. I know Gideon has something coming out this year that's like pretty awesome. Do you have anything special for the season, like custom wise? Because I know you always had like the sleeves and everything.
Yeah, the cleats this year are going to be elite, and you can shout out to the girlfriend for this one because it's early birthday present because my birthday's in
All
May.
right.
So she's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I'm like, "I don't know, figure it out." And so like I was like looking at cleats a lot because I was getting ready for the season. She's like, "Can I
Right.
just buy you cleats?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, "Can I customize them?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She's like, "Okay," I'm like, "Make me a design or whatever." Like, show me a design, and I said, "Okay, whatever." So like she did a good job designing them, and we designed them together, and I love them. They're gonna be super cool. I just got the first like pictures of them the
Right.
other day, and they're insane. They're so cool. I hope they stay together the whole season. I hope they're gonna be the paint stays on and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna post those on my Instagram here, like whenever I get them. I think it'll probably be after we get back from the road trip. But I mean,
Right.
I'm really really excited for those ones.
Yeah.
They're
No
gonna be cool.
reveal on the road. You're keeping that for opening day.
Yeah. The opening day reveal is gonna be electric.
All right. And the sleeves are still staying the same.
Yeah, still got the same sleeves. I like those last year. They were good quality sleeves too. Like they made my arm feel good, so I'm sticking with those ones. Kind of the same thing, same colors. You just got the same batting gloves, and yellow and navy are kind of tough to come together color combos without
Yeah.
spending your whole salary on custom stuff. So year by year, custom stuff's a year by year thing. So
And bat wise, are you still using the same thing as last year, or?
yep, B45 is great. We're really lucky to have that deal with them. I kind of work closely with them during the winter too a little bit, and got to see their factory a little bit more and get to know
Yeah.
them a little bit. It's really quality wood, high quality wood. It just does not break either because Birch is really good bats, and they do a good job sending us their good billets too. Um, yeah, they great wood. I think I'm doing the same design. I got lazy and
All right.
forgot to send in my color combos. I kind of wanted to do like a yellow bat, but then again, like during night games, the umpires can see that more, and I'm going to get called out on check swings more
Yeah.
often.
That's
So
true.
that's why like I want to do like the brighter colors, but like I don't want to strike out more.
Mhm.
And even if it's one strikeout, it'll just make me mad at myself. So if I can get my navy bat or that light blue bat's kind of bright too, but. That's why I kind of switch to navy every now and then. Just if I'm in like check swing mode and I check
All right.
swing too much, yeah, they go with the navy dark bat.
And will you be the first Capital player to ever introduce a torpedo bat?
I don't know. I talked about that with B45. It's just one of those things, man, where it's just like such a craze. But the Yankees have so much data behind it on
Yeah,
where people hit the
but
barrel.
honestly, like I don't even know if you should use it because they're hitting bad now.
Yeah, well, that's
Like
just like
I
one of
think
those
that
things.
was a couple of the players that were using. I think was like Jazz Chisholm, Volpe, and I
Yeah,
think it was Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt's hitting like 300 and over. Volpe's for like 132 now.
yeah, man, and like it's early in the year, so that batting average fluctuates so
Of
much.
course, yeah.
But like those are weird because like the Yankees did a good job with their analytics and like they have a really big analytic team and they measure where they hit the ball in the barrel more often, and so that's why they shifted that barrel that way. But now all of a sudden, that just changed the way the bat feels. So does that torpedo bat feel the same way as the bat they used for however many 400 plate appearances last year? I don't know. Like that's something that's like kind of going to be an experiment for them, and I'd be intrigued to see it. They're never going to release it because they don't want other teams to know.
Yeah.
But that's just something that comes up in my brain thinking about those things. Like it changes the swing weight. So now maybe I was going to hit the ball on this part of the barrel more often with this swing weight, but now with the torpedo, it's just like, am I going to catch the ball off the end more and stuff like that? So it's just super intriguing. And like people are just buying the thing. They're just buying it just because everybody's using it. And like,
Yeah.
oh, I get jammed more. I'm gonna hit the ball in the barrel. And like, no, it just completely depends on who you are as a player and how you swing. For me, I think it'd be a good idea because like if you go look at my off-season bats, my barrel is more where my misses are more where the torpedo would be in the bat or whatever the
Right.
biggest part of the barrel would be. It's intriguing, and I love hitting, and I love the analytical side of baseball, and so like it's just really cool to read about that stuff and see what the heck people are doing.
And we didn't talk a lot about last year because last season was a special one, of course, with the three-peat, and of course we had the home run. I think we talked a bit about it like after like the like celebration they had. I think it was on a Sunday. I'm not sure. But have you gone and looked back at Q's home run, like the big walk off, is something special, of course.
I don't know how many times I've watched that video, but it's probably endless because it's whenever you have like a bad day or whatever, and you're just like, oh, I
You
had like
just
a
go watch the
crappy day.
video.
I'm just gonna go watch the video, and it just brings you right back. So yeah, it was insane. It's so special. It's just like I'm not gonna say I'm numb to it. No, I'm not numb to it, but it's just I just remember sitting in that dugout after like I just missed the ball to tie the game, and I was like, just like, please God, let something good happen. I'm like, can we please do something good? Giddy just has that hustle single out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
just watching Q's at bat, and you just gotta get this feeling. And he's just fouled like one or two straight back, and I'm like, okay, this guy better not throw a heater here. Like this guy better not throw this pitch, that pitch, and he gave him a heater, hittable heater, and he capitalized on it. And you see that happen, it's like you're watching in slow motion. Like you see the swing, and you just watch the ball, and it was just like floating up there for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, come down over the fence, please God. And that just actually happens, and you're like, you just don't even know what you're doing. You're just like running around with your head cut off, and it's just like you still can't believe it happened. Like you have full faith in everybody to do their job, and you're like, how the heck does this keep happening? How do we keep walking people off? Like
Yeah.
it's
That's not.
some of the most insane stuff you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah, because like last year, of course, you had Q's. 23, both games in Quebec ended with Profar and Giddy's walk-offs,
Yep,
home runs. Because in 22, Ruben had the walk-off double, well, single, and he had the walk-off sac fly.
yep.
Like, that's 5 walk-offs in 6
And we're
games.
and we're forgetting about the TJ White walk off against Ottawa in the
Also,
11th. Like that's 6 walk-offs, and how many home playoff games are we talking about right there?
that's
We
probably
got
like less than 10.
two. Yeah, like is that even possible?
Not,
It just defies logic. Like, and we can never leave Stad Connect ever for that reason.
no, and honestly, we talked about it with Phoenix, and I'm so down to him to do it. Like, the whole magician thing, he needs to do that. Arrive at opening day dressed as a magician would be legendary.
Yeah, man, that would be hilarious. People would be like, "What the heck is that guy wearing?" But that's the magic du stade. It's incredible, man.
And like, I mean, last year was special, but like, is it the greatest year out of all the 3 you've been in Quebec now?
Um,
Because they were
man,
all
like
different, and I mean, like 23 was special, but of course you were injured, so that might just sting a bit more.
Yeah.
At what point was last year like comparable maybe to 23 and 22?
Yeah, obviously, it was really cool to watch everybody win it. It's a little more cool to be a part of it and being on the field, obviously. But man, like it just all presents different challenges, and just seeing everybody work through the difficulties and coming back from injuries and stuff like that. It was a big blow when Mark got hurt, and you're like, okay, you see him in the dugout, you're like, okay, he's gonna be fine tomorrow or whatever. And it's the same thing with everybody. And same thing happened with me in Tri City. It was like, okay, he's just whatever. He's gonna be fine tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and you're like, okay, I'm not good, and we got 20 games left, and I don't think I'm going to be good for the playoffs. And it's a big blow, and to see everybody bounce back from that, and Pat's one of the best doing it. He's good at making decisions quickly, and he makes really good decisions quickly, and he went out there and got two guys that put us over the edge that year. And 2022 is that different beast where it's just like, hey, we're in first place, come and get us. We're going to be here all year, and now you got to beat us in the playoffs. You couldn't beat us in the regular season, do it in the playoffs, and nobody did, and stuff like that. And same thing with 23. That Jersey team they were stacked. They're stacked, man. I remember when they came here early in May, and I was like, "Oof, they're going to be a problem. That lineup's going to be a problem to deal with." And we got them. And last year it was Washington. Washington was the beast that everybody was talking about. That this is their year. They're going to win it all this year. And like I said, I say this to everybody. They have more talent than us. Not even a question about it. We just executed our game plan a little bit better in the playoffs, and took advantage of their mistakes. And
maybe a little bit of luck too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There's always luck involved with championships. It's how much luck do we have?
That's not even
Knock on wood. It's never ending. But yeah, every year's presented different challenges. But it's one of those things. It's like picking who your favorite kid is. I don't. They're all special to me in different ways.
Yeah. And I feel like last question, all right? Because we're like getting over on time a bit.
Gotcha.
What was like the most impactful thing about last season and like the whole team? Like I think that last season was one of the first team we didn't see the team blow up that much. Like the team really followed each other to the end of the season, and like with injuries and everything, like new players came in, and because I think aside from maybe Profile leaving and a couple of the guys from camp, like last year was like a really special group. I'm thinking like.
Yeah, it's another thing. Like, just credit to Pat. He sticks with his team. He knows who he recruits. He knows who he gets in, and he knows these guys are talented. And so, a lot of teams, like, if we're struggling, 16 and 16, 16 and 20, they're going to start panicking and fire selling guys and getting rid of guys and dumping salary and stuff like that. He just sticks with the plan, and we got a good leadership group, and it's kind of one of those things where we were like kind of stalling in New York, and that was a big series because they were just super hot, and we were just struggling. We were about 500, probably a little bit below 500, and it was like, maybe this isn't our year anymore. And it's just like, well, we need to get everybody in there and get on the same page. Because I talked with Pat, and I said, hey, what are you thinking? Like, do you find other guys? He's like, I think the answer's here in the locker room. And I said, yeah, I agree. Like, we're talented. We just don't win games right now. And so that was when me and Mark were struggling too a little bit. So that obviously didn't help. But I just talked with Q the night before, and we just kind of had like a team meeting with the hitters and stuff like that. Just talking like, hey guys, like we need to do a better job. We need to play the game better. Like, we have a ton of talent in this room, but we keep finding ways to lose, and we keep making mistakes. We keep giving people outs. We keep getting picked off, thrown out on the bases, and we're limiting our 27 outs a game to 24, and it's just we're shooting ourselves in the foot. And so we just talked with everybody, kind of got together and said like, hey, we got to play the game better. And so like I found that talk helped out a lot. A lot of people were playing more of a team game, and it's just it's funny when that works out. And people are hitting 200, they're pressing, and they're like, okay, I need to hit better. Well, if you just play the team game, like, it all works out. If you try to do stuff for everybody, and I know it's cliche, but it's really true when you stop thinking about what your numbers are and just trying to get your job done each and every at bat. Your numbers just start shooting up there, like it's no problem. And so like I said, every year presents its challenges, and you got to address the team in a different way every year and stuff like that. Yeah, man, like we just always find a way to turn it around. The front office sticks with our guys. We never really have like that panic, sell everybody. We haven't had that in the last 3 years. We could have, but we never have. And Val's injury last year killed us. It hurt us. It's just the same thing as Mark and I's from the year before, but we found a way to bounce back, and Val's a great leader in the room, and that's something we're gonna miss big time. That guy's been in the show for a long time, and man, he's hilarious. He brings like the Latin guys together with us, and kind of bridges that gap. And we always have one of those guys that speaks good English and good Spanish that bridges that gap every year. But yeah, man, just always having that good leadership in the room, and just making sure we can get our message across about the Quebec culture and how we win games up here. And so, yeah, Pat does a good job with the guys, and there's a reason he's won. God, I don't even know how many championships he's won now, like 10. Has he won all of them in the
it was
in the organization history? Yeah, 10 or something like that. So, he's an amazing manager. I'd never want to play for anybody else.
And last question for you this time. If you guys make the playoffs, will this year be the year you break the first game on the road curse?
Oh man, we can't do it.
No,
we always
never.
We always find a way to lose it.
If I'm not mistaken, we're 0 for 6 right now or 8. I'm not sure.
We haven't won one in my entire career here. I don't think. Well, you know what?
Sure.
We did win the first. Did we win the first? Yeah, we won the first game in Schaumburg. We won the first game there in 22, but we lost the second game there.
Are you sure?
Or maybe it was opposite.
Yeah, I think it was opposite, because I think Cienfuegos had the start, and I think we lost game 1 too. I really not.
Might go back and look at that one, because I thought we lost the game that Paiva threw, because I think Paiva threw the ball away or something like that, and they scored 1 or 2 extra runs, and we were struggling with it. But I don't know. We'll have to look at that one. I'm going to look at that one as soon as we get off.
I mean, even though that's basically 1 for 7.
Man, just talk about baseball. It's just we go to Ottawa, and we keep we just don't do our jobs, and we're just not good situationally and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you get to the 9th inning, Frankie's been solid all year, and it's just he walks, gives up a hit on a slider, and you're like, how do we keep doing this to ourselves? And we lost that one, whatever. But it's just it's one of those luck things too, where it's just how unlucky can we get in some of these games and stuff like that? Last year Washington was just they were just ridiculous, and they just executed their jobs that day really well, and the next day we came out and kind of crushed them. But hopefully we can do it. It'll make life a lot easier at home, huh? But it's no fun like that. Who wants to see a sweep? It's overrated.
Yeah. Man, thanks a lot for taking the time again. It was really, really fun as a podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I always love enjoying this, so looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see each other at camp, and excited for the season to get back on, especially on the 9th, because that's opening day, even though, opening day here is on the 20th, but the real baseball season starts on the 9th as well.
Yep. So I'm excited to go on the road, even more excited to come back home. So I'm sure I'll see you around the camp. Get excited to get the fans out there and see everybody.
100%. Non, thanks à tout le monde d'avoir écouté, et on se retrouve très bientôt pour un autre podcast.